house, because I felt I knew it was gonna be a place where I could be smart out loud. And where other kids, there were going to be all these kids from the city with the same aspirations, and I didn't have to hide my intelligence. Everybody would want to go to college. But to get there was a real journey, and going there exposed me to more than just the neighborhood kids, the kids in my socioeconomic strata. So you go to Whitney Young, and this was the first time I had met Black rich kids. I didn't know they existed, and so there was a whole lexicon of like Jack and Jill. That's like in a club. Yeah, so people belong to Jack and Jill. I was like, what's that? Yeah, I had this vision of people with buckets doing things like Jack and Jill going up the hill. I didn't realize it was where Black kids, privileged Black kids, could meet each other, and they would go skiing. I didn't know Black people skied. I met Black people who lived in downtown in condominiums and whose parents owned companies that I had heard of. This is where I met one of my good friends who was the daughter of Reverend Jesse Jackson. And that's when I got exposed to so much more than what I could have learned in my neighborhood. But I realized that if I had stayed where I was, I wouldn't have even known about these hidden ladders, about these relationships, networking. I realized networking exists. All these kids kind of knew each other, and here I am walking into Whitney Young with an hour-and-a-half bus ride. These were kids who had cars, drove their parents' cars to school. Now, these weren't all rich kids, but there were enough of them that I realized that there was this system of relationships.
I feel like that's one of the things that you offered as First Lady, a way that you sort of opened up the apparatus of privilege and gave everybody a glimpse at that and access to it in a way that connected humanity in a really strong way. But I want to jump, I'm sorry.
No, but but part of the point is, and I try to tell kids this is why we have to encourage kids to push outside of their comfort zones, because kids need to know what else is out there to figure out who they can be. Kids of all colors, all races. And for me, this becoming is really kind of a story of migrating through all these different worlds, slowly moving, ascending up and up and up. Because it wasn't just, so Whitney Young was odd, and I had the feelings of, can I really make it in this competitive magnet school? Because I just come from this little neighborhood school. Maybe I'm not really as smart as I thought I was. And then I got to Whitney Young and I was able to compete. So that bolstered my confidence and gave me the wherewithal to dare think that I could go to Princeton, which was the next point of migration for me. Not just moving out of the city, moving through the city and knowing my city better, but then moving to another place, a place of Ivy League and real privilege. And I learned a set of things doing that as well.
Wow.
So let's take a little leap, shall we?
Let's leap.
You were working